Work on the 59 has officially kicked off. We started off by giving this car a really good power washing because, well, honestly, the inside was completely filthy and covered in cobwebs, mouse shit, and all that other stuff. And I wanted to feel a little better about all the little creepy crawlies not crawling on me while I'm inside and out of this thing and not catching pontavirus. So we started off by just power washing that, getting all the old grime on the outside power washed off. After a good power washing, we got the whole front clip stripped off. Try to do the bolts out. I just went right for the grinder on that last one. I just did that. Got the front valance, for lack of a better word. We got the hood and the grill off, the front fenders are off, and we got a good idea of where we wanted to start cutting away at all of the bad rust and crap. Now, for those that haven't guessed it yet or kind of caught on to how bad this car is, really the only good thing this is for is a good chassis swap. So that's what we decided to do. That's the most logical way to go about this, to have a solid base, because really the only thing good about this car is the outer sheet metal, inner fenders, the firewall, the floors, the inside, the floors, front and back, the floors of the trunk are all junk. Basically the whole floor and structural parts of this car are garbage. On top of that, the motor, transmission, those are all junk. Surprisingly, all the brakes and everything. Okay, except for that one. I was gonna say most of the wheels turn by themselves with ease, except for that one. But that one made me a liar. But this car, stop it. But this car, honestly, only good part about it is the outer sheet metal and the nice patina on it. The overall badass look of it. So, in order to keep this Ratrod under a budget, the most logical way is to find another donor chassis that is a running and driving car with the whole drive line and basically a solid floor plan. After we got the front clip stripped off, I got a better idea of where I wanted to start cutting, because I wanted to take this whole upper half, the whole upper part of the body, and lift it off the chassis. So far we went through and we cut basically where the worst of the rot was. We cut through that inner fender all the way, basically followed this line of rust of the cowl all the way through here, up and down through here. We continued that cut again along the rust, basically starting here all the way through the inside of the rocker. The outer kind of step slash rocker is pretty rotted, but I wanted to kind of keep that as a template to rebuild later. But we cut through here all alongside there, through the inside, up and over this main kind of frame support deal. I wasn't sure how much of this inner wheel well we'd end up using, so I ended up cutting down and taking away as little as possible on both sides, right up and through there. I kept this back firewall because I wasn't sure if maybe we could use that. And then up through both sides of the inner wheel well of the trunk area, I wasn't sure how much that could be used, so I left that because it's good sheet metal, and same with that side there. And then this rear piece here is pretty much junk, so I kept this rear sill where the trunk latch is and everything, and just cut clean through that rust there. So we basically have this whole body separated from the chassis. It's really just a matter of cutting miscellaneous things that might still be attached. One of which I know the steering column is still bolted to the underside of the dash, which is the underside of the dash is attached to kind of this exterior firewall piece here. So that's going to have to be removed. The filler neck for the diesel fuel tank, that I started cutting into, and surprisingly there was a lot more fuel in the tank itself than I anticipated. So I started cutting the rubber part of the filler neck, and some fuel was actually starting to splash out. So I think I'm gonna have to take the car off the jack stands so that way it's not sitting like this and it's not pretty much sloshing the fuel back. That way we can disconnect that. I cut these supports on both sides. Pretty much I have everything cut that I think I will need cut, and when we go to lift it off, we're basically gonna have to just cut miscellaneous little things as we go. What I was thinking of doing, and I didn't end up doing, was welding a bar from the B-pillar to tie the B-pillars together, which I still might do. I'm not sure yet, because I'm not sure what the overall width is going to be from the donor car. Now, I don't have the donor car yet. I've already figured out all those details, and we're actually going to look at a car on Sunday, which is actually tomorrow. The donor car that we have in mind is going to be a great swap. In terms of the track width and the wheelbase, it's a very, very close match, within a quarter or to half an inch on wheelbase, and it's a little bit wider in track width, which I think will give a better stance to this car anyway. And it came with a couple different engine options from the factory. So one was an easy, obvious swap that I thought about going with, but there's another engine option that I decided to go with because it's a little different and there's not as many builds or information regarding that engine's combo. So the wheelbase on this car is about 104.5 inches. With that being said, I want to see if you guys can figure out what we're going to end up using as a donor car for this chassis swap. And if you can figure out the car, what do you think we're going to go with an engine option? We are at that point where I'm going to try to use my makeshift Jeep crane that I made to pluck my buddy's engine out of his basement. When we built his motor for his Fox body in his basement, we had to get it out of his basement. And so I built a Jeep crane that bolted onto the front bumper of my Jeep and used my winch as the actual crane section. It worked out great. I'm not sure if it's going to be tall enough to pick the body off of this, but we're going to give it a shot. So I'm going to get that set up, and we're going to get the roof line strapped up with some straps, and we're going to try to get this lifted off the car and see what else we need to cut before the two pieces are actually separated. That was almost my freaking finger. I said it worked. I never said it was a perfect design. I'd be lying if I said I didn't drop this on my foot a time or two. But it's homemade and it works, and you kind of just work with what you got. All right, I had to switch it up. I had to remember how it would put it together, so. All right, we got the crane set up. We got 2 straps, one behind the B-pillar, one in front of the B-pillar. Hopefully to kind of pick everything up as one with the roof, the 4 doors, kind of keeping everything latched and together. We're just gonna try to lift it straight up. I wanna go on record stating that, no, I do not know what I'm doing, but I'm having fun while doing it, and I think that's what counts the most. Will this work? Not sure. Will it destroy the car? Possibly, but we're gonna try it anyways because redneck science. I wish I came up with that phrase, but I didn't. Thanks to the help from my personal assistant. The body is off the rotted out frame. Well, chassis. There's not really a frame because it's a unibody, but you can kind of get a better look at how bad this old chassis is. The wheel wells are where the spare tires sat were rotted. All this is just completely gone up the firewall. I mean, there's nothing good about this other than the outer sheet metal, which is also somewhat rotted in the areas, but that stuff can get cut out. Big moment. We got the usable stuff separated from the junk stuff. Pretty cool. All right, the Jeep crane was a success. We got the body off. We got it on some wood for now. I have to disassemble the tractor mode before it gets dark and turn it back into daily driver mode. Hopefully, fingers crossed, tomorrow we come home with a full trailer that we can use for a donor chassis. That'll be in the next video. That's it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you on the next one.